morning everybody, and welcome to a lovely sunny day here in Wick. It's Sunday the 13th of July 2025 and you find me here outside Wick Co-op, meaning only one thing can be occurring in this video. Just like the thumbnail depicts and just like the title says, we're taking Ember for the first time here in Caithness. We're giving it a try, having a run on the 5:55 bus on Sunday, which leaves Thurso at around 5:20 from Scratch to Ferry Terminal, picks up in Thurso, then comes straight down Thurso Street here to Wick, before continuing on its way via, where does it stop? Brora, I think that's the next, don't know, Dumbeath, Brora, Tain, Dingwall, and then Inverness at around 8:42. So we can get to Inverness on a Sunday morning, for the godforsaken reason that you want to, before 9 o'clock, and I'm being mad enough to actually do that and travel on this journey for the first time, well, for me, on an electric coach, and also bring you along with me to show you the journey. So I booked my ticket yesterday on the Ember app. Very simple indeed. You just go onto the app and just sort of, well, put in your number, put in your pass, so obviously you can use your concession card, as you can see here, and then they sent you an email with your ticket within 5 minutes, and it came through straight away for me. So here it is. As you can see, I've blurred the barcode so you don't copy my ticket. Very smart of me. And I was also speaking to the driver because I know them, because, you know, bosses, me, I'm quite close to them, if you know what I mean. And I was asking the driver, and they are in fact driving this service, so they were just telling me what to do and stuff like that. So all I need to provide when I get on the bus is my ticket on my smartphone and my, the Scott card, the one that I could get free bus travel with anyway, just to prove that I'm actually them and I'm not some sort of 50-year-old man who said he's got a concession pass when he actually doesn't. So the bus stops here at Wick Co-op. I've had a drastic change, a far cry from what the sad, sorry look to them did, well, a few weeks back before the Ember things got put on them. Not sure if any of the other stops on route have got these put on. I'd expect so. So people actually know that Ember stop here. Still doesn't make sense why it doesn't just go to Wick bus terminal, but that's not for this video. We're thinking positively today. We're going to give it a try, head down to Inverness, and then when we get there, apparently they've got some sort of open day / recruitment day at their depot, so we're going to pop down there, see what the crack is, and we'll round up the video somewhere around there. Right, what time is it currently? It is 8:40, we've got about 15 minutes, and my bus, which is HTAaB is almost at Watton, which means it is 15 minutes away. I'm just checking the bus times map right now, which they do track on bus times, very accurate indeed, and it says 1 minute ago it was in Watton, meaning it's on its merry way. So I'm going to wait at the bus stop and I will see you guys when it arrives. So yellow one, different company, but it's, oh, here it is now.
Ember is magnificent.
Nice modern fancy buses, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
That's it.
Yeah.
So then, the first trip southbound at 5:55 from Wick Co-op on Sunday the 13th of July 2025 just had 2 passengers on board. Me and this Italian man in front of me, who was very friendly indeed. And at this point, I'm just sort of thinking, well, how do I do my ticket? I'm watching what he's doing to see if I can sort of get a memo. So when I get on board in a moment, I understand the score. And just a few seconds later for me, boarding commenced. And at this stage, I was confused. Driver was saying, just put the, ticket on my phone on here. It wasn't scanning the first time, probably because I was holding it in the wrong place and I had my Scott card too close to it. You know, it's a learning thing, first time on the bus and all. And after that I'd scanned, I could just scan my Salter card at the top. And as you can see with the green tick on the machine, it approved, which is always good to see. So then, first impressions of the bus as I got on board were simply wow. And I hate this phrase a lot, but wow factor. That's the words that are coming into my head. Look at those seats, comfortable, very elegant, very demure. And the actual general ambience of the bus, looking at it as I first got on, were also wow. It's just smart, very modern, very sleek, very sort of first class, but not over the top. So for the journey, I decided to sit around halfway down the vehicle, and at my seat there was this wonderful tray table, very elegant indeed, and to my right was the wheelchair bay, and in front of me was the toilet, so if somebody came out of there, I'd be staring into their soul. I put my bag on the floor, plenty of room down there, as you can see, and also, guess what? I plugged my phone in on an Inverness bus. That's the first. Stagecoach don't offer that. So as you can see here, plugged in, and in fact the socket did work. A short 5 minutes later, we were tramming along the A99 southbound away from Wick, and now's the time to give you an overview of my seat. So, as I said, to my right is the large provided wheelchair bay there, with some nice shackles on the floor to give them a lovely bit of room and keep them secure. The seats themselves were generally fantastic, comfortable, lots of padding, and they reclined. Look at this, look at the flatbed position. This is pretty much like business class on an aeroplane, or how I'd imagine it at least. There were some other features at the seat that I didn't discover until my journey home later, such as the option to move the inside aisle seat further away if you're sat next to somebody you, don't know or don't want to sit close to or on top of, basically. And also the headrest on them do move up and down, which is also a nice feature. When I tested it, that was pleasurable indeed. So then, for now, I will leave you with some wonderful views of the Caithness coastline as we make our way southbound now on the, A99 and A9, and I will catch up with you at our second scheduled stop, that being Brora. So then, after about an hour of travelling on the E6 service out of Caithness down the wonderful coast, we were here in Brora, which is in fact the second intermediate stop after Wick for the route. Obviously, in the future I've learnt more stops will be added, such as Leicester, other options being, well, Golspie, which you'll see passing through next, and also places like Helmsdale and Dornoch. And with more stops means more people using the service. And that's good for the company, as it means more passengers are taking this bus over the X99, which is found on the route already. And in my eyes at least, it's not directly competing with the X99, because the X99 isn't targeted towards pre-booked journeys only, whereas Ember is fully pre-booked. You book online and it's all connected to the computer on the bus, and the driver knows exactly who's getting on and where they're getting on, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's all clever, all singing, all dancing, whereas the X99 is just sort of get on, say, right, I'm off to Brora, please, and they'll drop you off in Brora when you press the bell. Cool. Different market of people be using it, but with more stops on this route, like I said, with more people will be using it. So then, here's the bus now passing through Golspie. We've made it this far, like, what, another 10 minutes down the road from Brora. Currently there isn't no stops here, but like I said, if more stops are added, that is only a good thing for the service. Another thing I'd like to mention as we make our way onto the Dornoch Bridge is just how smooth and quiet these coaches are. And you may be thinking, well, obviously they're quiet, they're electric. But some electric buses you go on, such as even Yutong E10s operated by Stagecoach, when they set off they go boo, and they sound like milk floats. Whereas these, when they set off, they're just silent, they just glide along, and they handle the bumps of the main road, because I can agree there is quite a lot of bumps on this main road, and you do feel it on certain buses. But with these, they sort of just handle them well, and honestly, like, I don't sleep on buses, but if I was a sleeper, this is the sort of bus that I would happily take a nap on, because it's just not bumping at all. Like, me personally, I find filming on buses and coaches very difficult, because obviously you're rocking about all the time. Okay, yes, my camera's got stabilization, but even so, it's not that much rocking about. It's not shaking back and forth. As you can see, it's quite steady. With that said, we are now approaching our third intermediate stop after Wick, which is Tain at the Asda car park. What a great bus stop name that is. Very appropriate for the place as well, because funnily enough, the bus stop is right next to the car park. Anyway, here the coach comes off the A9, off of the Tain bypass, and heads into the actual town itself, and picks up and drops off outside the Asda, before turning around the roundabout, rejoining the A9, and, continuing on to Dingwall, which is the fourth stop after Wick. So, this stop is very good indeed, because, well, as you can see, people are using it, very good indeed, and to be honest, Tain's not that big, so the houses aren't that far from here. Okay, yes, it's a 10-minute walk, and some people are lazy and don't like walking, but for the normal and average person who likes walking, the distance isn't that far. And as I pull off this piece of plastic, which is very satisfying, we are now leaving Tain and rejoining back onto the A9. At this stage of the journey, on this particular day of travel, the fog had rolled in over Tain. As you can see, look at this. You come over the Dornoch Firth, it was lovely and sunny. Lovely, well, the sun was out, that's what I'm trying to say. Come over into Tain, and it's basically in cloud. So then, after another stint down the A9 in some lovely sunlight again, yeah, the fog had cleared by now, the bus gets an option to either go via Invergordon or Alness, depending on what the driver's map states. This is because these places, although not on the timetable, people can request for the bus to stop there, if you sort of, well, let them know in advance. And the bus will come down and pick you up if needs be. So the bus, well, even though there was nobody getting on, still said to go via Alness, just to sort of, well, not run pretty much like early, which is always good. And on the return journey later in the day, it went via Invergordon, which is a first for the town, seeing an electric coach service go through the, well, historic maritime town of Invergordon, which very, very weird to think. Same as Alness, to be honest. You wouldn't think, like, well, 3 years ago you'd be getting an electric coach service, but here you go. And also these stops probably will be made permanent in the near future, which is also good for the place, because people get another, like, well, added option of travelling towards Inverness or north, like, well, yeah, you don't have to go to Dornoch now and change, which is good. You can just get a one bus and travel north without the fear of sort of getting off one bus, changing onto another, realising you've got off and you've missed the one. And obviously the X99 is not that frequent, so, well, if you missed it, then, well, it's another couple of hours or 3 hours to wait for the next one. Not very convenient for the general passenger. just before the Cromarty Bridge, heading south, the bus takes a different route to what the X99 does. So, the stagecoach variant of the Inverness bus goes over the actual bridge, whereas here on the E6 service, they go via Dingwall, which again gives the people of Dingwall an added option of travelling north and also travelling south into Inverness, because after Dingwall it just continues on the main road and heads back to Tor roundabout. It only adds about 15-20 minutes onto the route, not that long at all, and it just makes it more convenient for the well, like I said, generic passenger who would be using this route. Again, comparing it not directly to the X99 but comparing it alongside the X99, yeah, basically direct. It's, well, generally more convenient, even though it's still, well, classing itself and, well, expressing itself as an express service, which is what it primarily is. The X99 is sort of local in Caithness, which, yes, it is a Caithness bus, I understand that, but then after Dornoch, it makes no stops, well, until it gets to Inverness, where it just goes to the bus station and turns around, has a break, and comes back. Whereas this between well, Dornoch and Inverness makes 4, if you go to Invergordon and Alness, stops, which, like I said, is very convenient. So then, as you've probably now established, we are here in Inverness after around 3 hours of travel. The service arrives into the city by heading down Longman Road, then turning off at Chapel Street before continuing down Academy Street, as you can see here. The E6 service, along with the E7 service that runs to Aberdeen from Inverness, terminates at Union Street, stop D, which is a great central hub in the city centre. Also, it doesn't clog up the bus station further, which is a nightmare itself. And the street is quiet, it's one way, and also a very central location for the city of Inverness. So, as we pass the railway station, we're about to turn right onto the said Union Street, which is the terminus of the route. So, with that said, I will, disembark the vehicle in a moment, and then make my way towards the Ember depot in Inverness. Okay, yes, wasn't straight away because it's only 8:42, but for the sake of the YouTube video, yes, I went there straight away as soon as I got off, because I was eager to go. Woohoo!
Oh well, right, see you again. Thank you, bye bye.
Oh, good run.
Is that good?
Yeah.
How did you enjoy it?
Smooth. Didn't break down.
No.
The luggage flaps didn't break. The door didn't fall off. Yeah.
No. It's not stinking
No.
into the toilet.
It's not got an annoying gearbox that doesn't change or go down.
No.
No. Look at that huge iPad.
I know.
Oh.
And the iPad tells me exactly where I'm going. That's why I skipped
Yeah.
to Invergordon,
Yeah.
because it told me all
Well, yeah,
this.
because it doesn't. You know, there's nobody going to be
Yeah.
there. So yeah.
It went from Dingwall to Conan Bridge, but
Yeah.
I thought I have to go to Dingwall to get to Conan Bridge,
Yeah, sure.
but then it skipped onto the Tor.
Yeah, so.
Aye.
Yeah. So yeah, really nice buses. Oh look, the full service. I don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna get some photos now of the Ember bus, and I will head off to the depot.
So then, now all the cars have gone and the quietness has arose, you find me here outside Ember's Shore Street depot in Inverness, and the progress is coming on well. Got loads of electric charging ports at the back over there, and well, the ground and stuff is all done, and we've even got 2 buses parked there with the differing liveries. We've got the grey, slightly older livery on the left, and on the right we've got the new 2025 black livery. So then, they said there was some sort of recruitment day. Well, that looks like it's happening. Not. But that's okay, because we've still got some photos from the entrance over there, which you'll have seen already. So I'm not complaining at all. Not much to see anyway. I know that bus has got all its doors open and stuff, so I presume if you went in and sort of just asked them about the buses, they would sort of show you around. But for the fact that I was literally on the bus up from Wick this morning at 5:55 outside the co-op, I don't need to go on one up close, because sort of I've done the real thing, not inside the depot, you know. Anyway, speaking of the journey, yes, it was good. Very comfortable, very quiet, very smooth, and very efficient. Yes, the system for Ember, as that car is noisy in the background, is very clever. So basically the driver's got sort of a big tablet thing, and obviously you book all online, so it all just goes to there, and as they're driving they've got the big screen, meaning they can see where people are going to be getting on, where the bookings are, and if they need to avoid any areas such as Invergordon, Alness, and where else? Eventon, if there's no passengers there. They're sort of request stops, if you will. So then, would I recommend it? Definitely. Is it better than the X99? Well, depends which way you take it. For convenience purposes and just scrolling through your phone, yes. For people going out and catching the bus, well, no. Because obviously, currently you can't just turn up to a stop, and the bus will just stop for you. You can't just stick your arm out and it will stop. It will just go sailing past, unless you've booked in advance, which is their thing, you see. They're not trying to rival the X99. They're not trying to compete with anyone. They're just adding services, giving people more choice, and sort of just, well, like I said, adding to the variety of transport you can get from here in Inverness to the north, and from the north to here in Inverness. So, with that said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to, maybe consider liking. If you want to, again, just subscribe. Like, you know, it helps me. 1,000 subs just around the corner. Could happen this year. And if you want more of this content, comment down below and let me know. For now then, all I've got to say is thank you for watching, and as this car is noisy again, and driving incredibly steadily, I will see you on the next one. Right, I've got another Ember bus booked later, so if I get shots on that, I will leave you with some now.